and welcome to day 4 of our vlog. We're actually a bit behind. We're actually on day 7, but we're going to talk about day 4.
Yeah, get back to bed.
So on day 4 we set out really early from Deba. We were about the 2nd or 3rd people out of the albergue, and we made our way pretty much straight uphill out of Deba, and we passed by some pretty cute little goats.
It was like a farmyard day. It was brilliant. There were goats, and there were loads of dogs. Oh, actually the dog style.
Yeah. So basically we fed our banana skins to these goats, and as we went around the corner there was this dog going absolutely ape. I mean, this dog was going insane. And I just reckon that these dogs are just to every pilgrim, so they must only live till about 3 or 4, because their hearts must give out from the stress and the panic of the way they go mad at every pilgrim. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, so we cracked on along. That was probably we were actually pretty much out on our own for a good bit of that day, but we started picking up people that stayed in the albergue just a bit from Deba quite early on. So it's quite nice. So we were kind of walking with people for an hour or so, moving on, or they moved on, or whichever, or we stopped for a break and they didn't. So yeah, it was a pretty good day all in all. The weather was overcast, so we got to start making some serious kilometres, which was nice. And we cracked on into a town called Marikina, which we didn't really feel there was much to, did we?
There wasn't really much there, to be honest, but...
So stopped and had ourselves some lunch and a coffee and a beer, and replenished, took our shoes off. It was actually a pretty tough morning walk.
And there was actually a fountain in the middle of Marikina, which we thought it okay to go and splash our feet into. So I don't know how okay that was, but anyway, we did.
We were doing
and then we got going, and actually where we were going to stay that evening was
in a monastery.
Which was probably another how many kilometres after?
6 or 7 maybe.
6 or 7 kilometres after. And
monastery, the Zenarruza, I think, maybe.
So anyway, we got on walking there after lunch. We managed to get up there.
We got there about like a bit after 4, but we wanted to be there as early as possible, because it said in the guidebook it only had 11 beds, but it actually transpired when we got there that they never turned people away. Like the night before they had like over 20. The night we were there they had almost 20. So it's cracking. But actually a few of the people that we had met while walking that day actually ended up staying there as well, so that was quite nice.
We had quite a nice evening. So there was this very generous German guy called Thomas.
the generous German Thomas, because basically there was a shop on the
monastery shop.
There was a monastery shop there that sold the beer that these monks brewed, and some wine and chocolate that other monasteries made.
So we bought some of their produce and had a nice evening.
We bought a couple of beers, and Thomas bought 2 bottles of wine, and then more people started turning up after the shop was closed, so we just dished it all out between everyone, and we had a cracking time.
The monks cooked dinner. There was a dinner after Vespers.
We went to evening prayer, and then the monks just gave out this massive pot of like spaghetti stew that we had to dole out between us, which went well, and that was awesome. And there was plenty of pan as usual. And then we had a bit more wine, and we called it a pretty early night. But the monastery was really nice. It was in a really beautiful place.
And you got up early the next morning.
Yeah, so I got up like for early morning prayer, like Lumo or Lundo I think it's called, and I think the equivalent of Matins. And so that was at 5:30, but when I turned up for that, it was only me and 2 of the monks. The others were obviously too busy at that time in the morning, of course. And they called me up to sit on the sanctuary beside them, so that put my Spanish divine office to the test. So it was good times. But yeah, so that was Dia Cuatro, and we'll see you guys again soon. Adios.
God bless.